What's up, guys? This is 7th period on Thursday, and I'm getting an error message about the bitrate being low. So I hope the stream is working. This is going to be super short, and I'll test it. I'll watch it right after, and if it's no good, then I can just record another. So what we have is nothing new for the class because I'm doing it all individually at this point. We have all of you guys working on a project, and over the last few days I've given individual feedback. I think on Tuesday I posted all these videos of like 3 or 4 minutes for each person, and then it told me I hit the upload limit, and it told me to wait 24 hours before I could upload anymore. So I think I got them all, at least everyone who turned something in for the later steps, and I'll go through. The plan is tomorrow I'll have everything graded except the assessment, the last step, which is marked as due tomorrow. And then on Monday I'll start grading those, but there's no rush. It'll probably take more than a day. What we have is basically 2 things that I want to point out that are like common issues that I've been mentioning for a lot of people, or one common issue and one thing that's like the last step that everybody needs to do. The issue is you got to remember, if you give this to somebody as a user, if they're going to pop open your page and interact with the bot, they don't know what's behind the scenes. They don't know what the code is, or they don't know what the intention is. So you got to tell them right at the beginning. You can have a little message from the bot that says, "Hi, I'm a bot that's going to recommend a movie. Do you like comedy or action?" And then they know what it does, and they know what they're supposed to do. Or it could be, instead of asking questions to the user, it could be, the user asking questions of the bot. It could be something like, "Hi, I'm going to tell you about nutrition. What would you like to know?" And then the user will type whatever, and the bot will look for keywords like carbohydrate or something. That means you got to do everything in your power to get the user a first impression that might be your message at the intro. It might be a question at the end of your intro. It might be changing the background of your chatbot. It doesn't have to look like a chat window. It could look like something else. I have the link up because I sent this to somebody who was asking about it. You can use the CSS background image line, which is super simple. I believe your template, it starts with background color as the top line in the CSS template, and you can add one. This is background -image and then colon, and after that you can do URL, or even better, you don't want to link to some external thing. You want to upload your own file and point to something in the same folder as your CSS and HTML and all that good stuff. So try that. Some of you guys have already done this and it looks good. Some of you have done other things like changing the color just as a color. But you just want to do everything you can to give the user a big chunk of info right at the beginning. It doesn't have to be a paragraph of text. It might be 1 sentence, but they should be able to look and see, okay, here's what the bot is and here's what it's going to do. And here's what I should do. I know to answer this question they gave me, or mention whatever I'm looking for. Because if your bot just says hello and the user says hello, we don't really know where to go next unless the bot is super clear at every step. Then the other thing I wanted to mention, and the thing that most people got to finish before the end of this, is the final step is to get feedback from 3 people. Okay, it could be in the class, or it could be anyone, you know, your friend or your brother or something. I made a form, and it's super quick, so it's not, you know, if you send this to people, it's not like you're asking them to do an hour's worth of labor. It's a quick thing. They put their name and then your name, and then there are 3 quick questions. One is what I was just talking about. Do you give a first impression and tell us the stuff right away? Next, does it fit in a theme? You know, we don't want to have just scattershot stuff all over the place. We want to be able to say, like, the bot tells us what it does and then does it. Even if it's super simple, we're not making a giant thing right now. Your code might be like 20 lines or something. But, you know, if the bot says, hey, I think the example I used was, what kind of movie do you like, comedy or action? And if you say comedy, it's going to have something ready for that. And if you say action, it's going to have something ready for that. And you should probably have one ready if they say neither, or if they say both. But you don't have to have a response ready for every single possible thing in the world. You'll have like 3 or 4 main ones, and then you'll have a catch-all wild card that's like, sorry, I don't understand that, try again, etc. Then the final one is, does the bot recover well if the user gets lost or provides unusable information? So like I just mentioned, that message where your bot could say, sorry, I don't understand that. You don't want it to be a dead end. So you might want to add a little loop. If you remember the flowcharts, when we were doing flowcharts, and it was like a question initially and then it split up, a lot of them, because a lot of processes work like this, a lot of them ended up being a loop where it was like, pour food in the dog's bowl. Is it full? No. Keep pouring food in the dog. And it was like looping around until, is it full? Yes, and then stop. There are a lot of processes that are like looping around until it hits a certain criterion. And your bot can do something kind of like that, where it can remind us to get back on track. It can say, oh, sorry, I don't understand that. Please tell me a type of movie you like. Or sorry, I don't understand that. Please, answer whatever the question was in the intro message. It could even just literally be the same phrase. But you don't want to have a lot of dead ends where the user types one thing and gets a message and then says, well, I guess that's it. You want to like show what you can do. And if you have a bunch of lines of code but the user never sees it, it's kind of a tragedy. So again, this is a smallish project, and you don't have to make Siri. You don't have to make a bot that can do anything, answer any question, search things on Google. There are some people who made a bot that says choose between 2 things at the beginning, and they have a response ready for each of those 2 things, and then they loop back to the beginning, and they have one wild card for don't understand, which also loops back to the beginning, and then they're pretty much done. And that is a complete system. It's not complex, but it works, it does the job, and it never gets stuck. So that's beautiful. And if you can do something like that, then you can apply those lessons to the next project when we're doing a big version with a group, and sort of keep in mind how we're looping through and how we're staying on track and we're not getting lost. So speaking of getting lost, I don't want to forget what I'm talking about and make this video a million minutes long. So I'm going to start wrapping it up. So that key thing I mentioned was give a good solid intro where we know what the bot is and what we're doing. Last step is to do this form. If you just send them this link, you don't have to make a copy, because I kind of want to have all the results on one sheet. And then tomorrow I'll do a couple grades. Monday we'll start the big grades for the assessment. And it's all right if we take our time, as long as we get it. You know, as long as we get this, then we know what we're doing. Then we do the next project, and we really know what we're doing, and it'll add up to something really cool. The goal is, you know, like we're doing this warm up, and then we do the big one, and then everybody knows what they're doing. They're not kind of like making it up as they go, or they're not. It's not in that situation where one person in the group knows how to do it and the others don't. Everyone will have at least made their own small version. So that's the plan, and I'll end this video before it gets too long, and I thank you for listening. And I'll check, because I remember that it says it's good now, but I remember that error message at the beginning. Maybe it's going to be choppy video or something. Thanks.